I always knew something was wrong, but I stayed quiet. I did not know how to ask for help. I was scared. I was very, very scared. My name is Sophia. I am 15 years old. I live in a small house with my mother and her husband. His name is Brian. I do not call him Dad. He is not my father. He is my stepfather. My real father died when I was 8. He had a kind voice. He used to tell me bedtime stories. He read to me about the stars. He called me his little star. I felt safe with him. But one day, he got sick. He went to the hospital. He never came home again. After he died, everything changed. My mother cried all the time. She stopped smiling. Then she met Brian. She said he was a good man. She said we needed someone to take care of us. She said we would be happy again. But I never felt happy with him. At first, Brian was quiet. He brought flowers for my mom. He smiled a lot. But I did not like his smile. It did not feel real. It felt cold. After they got married, Brian started to change. He shouted at my mother. He shouted at me. He broke things in the kitchen. He got angry for small reasons. One time, he threw a glass on the floor. It broke into many pieces. I was standing near the sink. I wanted to run. My mother told me, "He is just tired. He works very hard. Don't make him upset." But I was not the one who made him angry. He was always angry. Sometimes Brian looked at me in a strange way. I did not like it. His eyes made me feel cold. I felt scared when I was alone with him. I started closing my bedroom door. I started locking it. One evening, I was reading a book. I was sitting on my bed. It was late. I heard the door open. It was Brian. He did not knock. He walked into my room. He closed the door behind him. I stood up fast. I said, "What do you want?" My voice was shaking. He did not answer. He walked closer. I moved back. I felt my hands shake. I could not breathe. I ran. I pushed past him. I ran to my mom. She was in the living room. She was watching TV. I stood in front of her. I said, "Mom, please. I am scared." Brian came into my room. He looked at me. "I don't feel safe." She looked at me. Her face was hard. She didn't look worried. She didn't look kind. She said, "Sophia, stop this. Brian is your stepfather. Show some respect. Don't say things like that." I felt like someone hit me in the chest. My own mother did not believe me. She believed him. I wanted to scream. I wanted her to see the truth, but she turned away. That night, I cried into my pillow. I didn't sleep. I hugged my old teddy bear. It was from my father. It still smelled like him. I felt alone. I felt small. I felt like I didn't belong in my own house. The next day at school, I was quiet. I didn't talk to anyone. I didn't eat lunch. My hands were cold. I felt sick. I sat at my desk and stared at the wall. After class, my teacher, Miss Grace, asked me to stay. She said, "Sophia, are you okay?" I looked at her, but I said nothing. I was too afraid. I was too tired. She sat down next to me. She spoke in a soft voice. "If something is wrong, you can tell me. I am here to help." I wanted to speak. I wanted to cry. But the words stayed inside. I just nodded. That evening, I locked my door again. I pushed a chair under the handle. I could not sleep. I watched the door for hours. I waited to hear his steps. I waited to hear the knob move. My hands were shaking all night. 2 days later, something happened. I was sitting in math class. The school counselor came in. She asked me to come with her. I followed her down the hallway. I thought I was in trouble. But there was a woman waiting in the office. She was wearing a blue sweater. She had short hair and kind eyes. She said, "Hi, Sophia. My name is Julia. I work with young girls. I want to talk with you." I sat down. My hands were shaking. My stomach hurt. Julia said, "Miss Grace called us. She said she is worried about you. I want to ask you one question." I looked up at her. She said, "Do you feel safe at home?" My eyes filled with tears. My lips moved. I didn't think. I didn't stop myself. I just said, "No." Julia nodded. She did not look shocked. She did not ask me why. She said, "Thank you for telling me. You are very brave." After that, things moved fast. I was taken to a different room. I sat with another lady. She gave me a warm drink. She asked me some questions. I tried to answer, but I was tired. I just wanted to sleep. Later that day, they said I could not go home. They said it was not safe for me. They said they would find me a better place to stay. That night, I went to a new house. It was not very big, but it was clean. The lights were soft. A woman opened the door. She smiled at me. "Welcome," she said. "My name is Ellen. You will stay here for now." She showed me my room. It had 2 beds. One bed had a big teddy bear on it. The other bed was empty. That one was mine. A girl was sitting at the desk. She looked at me. She said, "Hi, I'm Tara." "Hi," I said. We did not speak much after that. I sat on the bed. I looked at my small bag. It had only one photo. My father was holding me in it. I kept it close to me. That night I could not sleep again. I turned on my side. I tried to stay quiet, but I cried a little. I thought no one heard me. But then Tara stood up. She came to me. She gave me a blanket. She said, "It gets cold here." I took the blanket. "Thank you," I said. She didn't answer. She just went back to bed. It was a small thing, but it felt big. I had not felt kindness in a long time. In that moment, I did not feel so alone. The next morning, I woke up early. It was quiet in the house. I looked at the small window. The sky was gray. I sat on the bed for a long time. I didn't want to move. Tara was already up. She was brushing her hair. She looked at me and said, "Do you want to eat breakfast?" I shook my head. "Not hungry." She didn't say anything more. She just walked out of the room. After a few minutes, I got up. I washed my face. I looked in the mirror. My eyes were red. My face looked tired. I looked older than before. In the kitchen, Ellen was making toast. The smell was warm. She smiled at me. "Good morning, Sophia," I said. "Good morning," in a small voice. She gave me a plate with toast and fruit. "Try to eat a little," she said. I sat at the table and took a bite. The bread was soft. I chewed slowly. Tara sat across from me. She didn't look at me much. She ate fast. Then she picked up her school bag. "Let's go," she said. We walked to school together. It was a short walk. We didn't talk much. The air was cool. The sky was still gray. When we arrived, I saw some girls from my old class. They looked at me but didn't say anything. I looked away. I felt my hands shake. My chest felt heavy. Miss Grace came to me. "Sophia," she said softly. "It's good to see you." She gave me a small smile. I wanted to hug her, but I just nodded. "Thank you," I said. I went to class and sat in the back. I didn't speak all day. I tried to listen, but my mind was full. I kept thinking about my mom, about Brian, about my old room. I wondered what they were doing now. Did they miss me? Did they even care? At lunch, Tara sat with me. She gave me a juice box. "You didn't bring lunch," she said. I looked at her. "Thank you." She didn't smile, but her voice was soft. After school, we walked home together again. I asked her, "How long have you been in the house?" She said, 1 year. I looked at her with surprise. "That long?" She nodded. "Yeah. I was in 2 other places before this one. But this house is okay." I wanted to ask more, but I stopped. I didn't want to hurt her. She looked like she was thinking about something sad. That evening, I wrote in my notebook. I wrote to my father. I wrote, "Dear Dad, I miss you. I feel lost. I don't know if I will ever feel safe again. But there is a girl here named Tara. She is quiet but kind. She gave me a blanket last night. It helped. I closed the notebook and put it under my pillow. I felt a little better. A few days passed. I got used to the new room. I got used to the quiet. Ellen was kind. She asked how I felt every morning. She never shouted. She made soup when we were tired. She made hot tea when we were cold. I started to trust her. Tara and I began to talk more. We didn't talk about the past. We talked about little things, about books, about music, about food. She liked spicy food. I didn't. One afternoon, we were sitting in the small garden behind the house. The sky was blue. The sun was warm on my face. Tara picked a yellow flower. She gave it to me. I smiled. "Thanks," I said. She looked at the sky. "I like it here when the sun is out," she said. "It feels like the world is soft." I looked at her. "Do you miss your family?" She was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "No. My house was not a good place." I didn't ask more. I just held the flower in my hand. Later that night, we sat on our beds. Tara looked at me and said, "Do you still think about your mom?" I nodded. "Yes. Every day." She said, "Do you hate her?" I didn't know what to say. I was quiet for a while. Then I said, "I don't know. I think I just feel sad." Tara looked at the wall. "I think I hated my mom, but now I just feel tired." We both sat in silence. It wasn't heavy silence. It felt soft, like we understood each other. That week, I started talking to Miss Grace again. She came to visit the house on Wednesday. We sat in the living room. She brought me a small red notebook. "Write what you feel," she said. "It helps." I opened the notebook and wrote, "Today, I felt the sun." I smiled. I talked to Tara. Maybe this is the first good day in a long time. One morning, I saw a letter in the hallway. It had my name on it. It was from my mother. My hands were cold. I sat on the bed and opened the letter. It said, "Sophia, I don't know if you want to read this. I am sorry. I was scared. I didn't listen to you. I didn't protect you. I miss you. I love you. I don't know how to fix it, but I want to try. Love, Mom." I read the letter again, then again. My heart was beating fast. I didn't cry, but I felt something move inside me, like a small door opening. Tara looked at me. "What's that?" she asked. "A letter from my mom," I said. She raised her eyebrows. "Wow! What did she say?" I gave her the letter. She read it slowly. Then she gave it back. "Do you believe her?" she asked. I shook my head. "I don't know yet." That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about the letter, about my mom's words. I wanted to believe her. but I was still hurt. I felt like a bird with a broken wing. I needed time to heal. On Saturday, Ellen took us to the library. It was a big building. I walked between the bookshelves. I saw a book I used to read with my father. It was about stars and space. I sat down and opened it. I remembered his voice. I remembered his warm hand on my head. I whispered, "I miss you, Dad." Tara sat next to me. She was reading a book too. She said, "I like this place. It's quiet." I nodded. "Yeah, me too." That evening, I wrote another letter in my red notebook. But this time, I wrote it to myself. "Dear Sophia, you are not weak. You are not the problem. You told the truth. You were brave. And you are still standing. That means something." I closed the notebook and smiled. It was a small smile, but it was real. 1 month had passed. I was still living in the group house with Ellen, Tara, and the other girls. Life was quiet. Not perfect. Not easy. But quiet. I started to feel calm again. I went to school every day. I helped with the dishes. I wrote in my notebook each night. I was learning how to breathe again. I was not the same girl I was before. I still felt pain inside. I still missed my father. I still thought about my mother. But I was not frozen anymore. I was moving, step by step. One afternoon, Ellen called me to the kitchen. She said, "Sophia, someone wants to visit you." I looked at her. "Who?" I asked. Her eyes were gentle. "Your mother," she said. I froze. My heart started to beat fast. I didn't know how to feel. I had waited for this, but now I was afraid. "You don't have to see her," Ellen said. "Only if you want to." I stayed quiet for a minute. Then I said, "Okay. She can come." The visit was set for Sunday. The whole week, I felt strange. I couldn't sleep much. I kept thinking about her. Would she be angry? Would she cry? Would she still live with Brian? Would she say sorry? I didn't know what to expect. On Friday night, I told Tara, "My mom is coming to visit." Tara looked surprised. "Do you want to see her?" she asked. I shook my head. "I don't know." Sunday came. The sky was gray and the air was cold. I sat in the living room waiting. My hands felt cold, even under the blanket. I looked out the window. Then the bell rang. Ellen opened the door. My mother stepped inside. She looked smaller than I remembered. Her hair was tied up. She wore a long brown coat. Her face looked tired. She stood in front of me and said, "Sophia." I looked at her but said nothing. She sat down across from me. We were both quiet for a while. Then she said, "I left Brian." I looked up. She nodded. I left him 2 weeks ago. I should have done it sooner, but I was scared. I didn't want to lose everything. I thought I was doing the right thing, but I wasn't. I lost you, Sophia. I see that now. I didn't know what to say. My hands were shaking a little. She pulled out a small photo from her bag. It was a picture of me, her, and my father. We were in the park. I was holding an iced tea. Cream. I remembered that day. I look at this photo every day, she said. I miss who we were. I want to try again. If you let me. I looked at the picture. I remembered my father's voice, his arms, his stories, the safety I once had. She looked at me again. Can you forgive me? She asked. I took a deep breath. I don't know, I said. You didn't believe me. You didn't protect me. Her eyes filled with tears. I know. I made a big mistake. I didn't want to lose him, and I lost you instead. I'm sorry. I really am. My voice was quiet. I needed you. She nodded. I know, Sophia. I know. I hope one day you can forgive me. She stood up slowly. I'll go now, but I'll wait. I'll wait as long as you need. She turned to leave, then stopped. Can I give you a hug? I stayed still for a second. Then I got up and stepped forward. She hugged me. Her arms were warm, but they shook a little. She was crying. I didn't cry, but I let her hold me for a few seconds. Then she let go and walked out the door. I sat back down. I felt tired. Not angry, not happy. Just tired. Like something heavy was slowly leaving my body. Tara came into the room. She sat next to me. How was it? She asked. I said. She said sorry. Tara looked at me. Do you believe her? I thought for a moment. Maybe. I want to. That night, I opened my red notebook and wrote a letter to myself. I wrote, Dear me, you are brave. You told the truth. You were not believed, but you didn't stop. Now your voice is strong. You are learning to heal. That is enough. Love, Sophia. The next morning, the sky was blue. The sun came through the window. I stood by the glass and watched birds fly in the sky. I smiled a little. I felt light for the first time in many days. At breakfast, Ellen gave me some news. She said, Sophia, a foster family wants to meet you. I blinked. What do you mean? They are kind people, Ellen said. They know your story. They asked to meet you. They want to see if you could live with them. I was quiet. Do I have to go? No, she said. Only if you want to. I thought for a moment. Okay. I'll meet them. That week, I felt nervous again, but not scared. It was a different kind of feeling. a new kind of hope. On Saturday, Ellen took me to a yellow house. A woman with curly hair opened the door. "Hi, Sophia," she said. "I'm Clara. This is my husband, Dan." Dan waved and smiled. "We're happy to meet you." Their house was simple and warm. It smelled like cinnamon. There were books on the shelf and flowers on the table. We sat together and talked. They asked me about books I liked, music I listened to, and what food I enjoyed. They didn't ask about the past. That made me feel safe. When we left, Ellen asked, "What do you think?" "They were nice," I said. "I liked them." "Would you like to visit again?" she asked. "Yes," I said. "I think I would." That night, I told Tara everything. She gave me a small smile. "You're going to be okay," she said. I looked at her and said, "So are you." She looked down. "Promise me something," she said. "Promise you won't forget me." I smiled. "Never." I looked around our room, my bed, my red notebook, the small flower Tara gave me weeks ago. This place had become a part of me, not my forever home, but a place where I started to heal. I wasn't scared anymore. I had a voice. I had hope. And I was ready for the next chapter.